such a welcoming place. It is such a place of openness and curiosity, and welcomes people to come and figure out what is there for them. And so the best advice I can give somebody who's thinking about coming here is to just try it.
I think some ways we feel really engaged with Rodef Shalom have mainly to do with the community engagement that the synagogue does. So, breaking bread on Broad, we participate in a friends group for the Spring Garden School near the synagogue, and Rodef Shalom has been great in supporting those efforts and supporting the school. And it really is meaningful to us, the extent to which the synagogue engages the wider community.
Some of the ways we feel most engaged at RS are going to services on Shabbat and Saturday morning Torah study, so meaningful. And I really appreciate all the ways on Zoom and online that the synagogue has sought to keep us connected.
I feel most engaged at RS mostly at Friday night services. I just find that's where the congregation comes together as a wonderful community with a wonderful clergy, beautiful music, a very spiritual, uplifting way to begin Shabbat. So for me, that's what stood out at RS for me.
I'd say for us, we've actually probably started attending services more now during the pandemic than we ever had. For us, we have a ritual now where every Friday night, we're all at the dinner table and we actually put the computer on, we light our candles, we do the challah, and it's really been a wonderful ritual, wonderful way to stay connected, and it's really been meaningful for us. And actually now we've also started doing the Saturday morning Torah study. So we found very, very profound and meaningful ways to connect through the pandemic. And it's actually brought us closer, and it's, I think, just reminded us of how strong the community is and how important those connections are.
In 2000, my dad died, and while I was in Florida with my mother, I got a call from the rabbi. And when you really are not thinking that you're part of a community much, and you get a call like that at a time when you're very vulnerable, and I knew at that point that I suddenly became aware I was part of this community that actually cared about me enough to call me far away to show their concern. And I had decided at that point that I wanted to become more involved.
So we did some synagogue shopping. Trevor is a convert, and I think we wanted a space that felt welcoming for him. And I think just inclusive in general as well, of lots of different kinds of Jews.
For me, getting involved at RS initially was my conversion and just going to the classes and learning about Judaism and meeting people who were converting as I was. And it was a really diverse group.
We actually moved here from Boston about 6 years ago, and Ellen's mother had just died. So we needed to find a place to say Kaddish. And so we just started at the beginning. I guess Ellen Googled various shuls in the area, and we chose RS as the first one to check out. And we never looked at another.
Members welcomed us in right from the beginning, had us sit with them, invited us out to dinner afterwards. So we felt ourselves becoming part of the community right from the beginning. And so, it was so meaningful to us.
At this stage of our lives, we didn't know anybody. We really didn't expect to have a social life here. We were coming to our son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren were here. And all of a sudden, we had an active social life, and it was a big surprise.
What I get excited about is the community of people, the way people connect, and the way the clergy connects to people, and that it is for me, the most warm and welcoming synagogue in Philadelphia. There's no synagogue that welcomed Craig and I more.
We wanted to, I think, find a synagogue that we both felt comfortable in, that would be welcoming given our different experiences growing up, and that we both would be able to relate to and have a place to have our needs met. And I think RS did a really good job on that.
Since our son Ezra has started going to BML, we've become much more connected to the community and really have found a deeper relationship at RS and with other families, and that's been really nice.
What I like most about BML is I think the amount of thought and work that's gone into really crafting an experience for children and families. And that really shows in everything from the musical selections that, you know, the family service affords you in the morning to the bagel breakfast for parents that hopefully we'll be able to get back to soon.
I have just been so delighted. He's really loved going. He's now doing Wednesday and Sundays. It's never been a fight to get him there. It's never been any kind of issue. He's excited by what he's learning. He's been so engaged. His teachers have really gone above and beyond to kind of meet him where he's finding interests.
The learning is really substantive. I mean, having gone to Hebrew school many years ago, I'm so impressed with, you know, when Ezra comes home and he's writing out Hebrew and spelling words and, you know, recalling stories from the Torah. And so that I think it's that the true content, value, and substance is really, really present.
Outstanding. I have to say, since we've been home, Hebrew school continues to be a lovely thing for him. It really stayed positive, and it stayed a way for him to connect when he was missing all of his friends and social time. And that to me was just remarkable.
Since we've had our daughter, who's now 15 months old, she's went to the daycare there, and it's a beautiful building. They're lovely people, and it's nice to be part of the synagogue and part of the daycare community and have it all be one. The daycare is like a very, I would not say it's it's not a religious school at all, but it's definitely Jewish values. They do touch Shabbat. It's a lovely place to send her. And so I think that's made us feel more engaged with the synagogue since she's gone there. RS provides that sort of anchor for a Jew who is a Reformed Jew married to a non-Jew raising a Jewish child.
I think the accessibility of the clergy is such a draw. I mean, they are incredibly learned and come with a gravitas, but they're also, you know, down to earth and accessible in a way where I certainly feel free shooting them off an email, telling them, like many others do, the way that something can be done better, but also sharing if I found an article. And, you know, I also will point out that during the recent pandemic, there was illness in my family, and really in an unsolicited way, the rabbis reached out, and it was really, it meant a lot. They were there for us, and it's been great.
I think after, you know, like your kids are all done with everything and you know, kind of are in this, and you're kind of heading into the later part of your life and retirement and all that. I think I realized that the most important thing about being a member of RS for me is being part of a community that is always there for you if you need them.
The synagogue has so many opportunities to new members to get involved. Just don't even dip your toes in. Dive in head first.
RS means almost everything to us at this point in our lives because it is for us our center of not just spirituality and education, but of community. It's where our friends are. It's where our support system is. So it's next to our children and grandchildren. It's the most meaningful thing in our lives.